Welcome to Education in Our Community. This show will spotlight effective lifelong living, working with communities and the constituents within those communities. I think our special guest has had a lot of experience working with all age groups, but her specialty has been with communities. Her name is Miss Verlie Mae Pickens. She has celebrated her 98th birthday. I think that was last year or the year before. And then her 99th birthday. Last year. And then this year she will be celebrating her 100th birthday. And that will be June 11th?
Yes.
Well, that will be very soon.
Yes.
Yes. And you're looking forward to it, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yes. And I have a feeling there will be a lot of special activities honoring you for the work you've been doing over the years.
Yes.
Yes, could you just share just a teeny bit of that when we get started later? But I wanted to introduce your special friend and guest, Mr. An Lei. Would you say that for me, please?
An Lei, Dr. Cannon.
An Lei. Thank you for helping me with the pronunciation. And did you say that is for a Vietnamese name?
It is Vietnamese.
Vietnamese, thank you.
Cannon.
And he is a writer and independent journalist and a community organizer. And I understand you used to teach community education classes.
That's correct.
Could you share what that was, please?
Sure. I served as the director of Senior University throughout the city and county of San Francisco for a number of years, which was a program for seniors throughout San Francisco to educate seniors regarding things such as community organizing. And Ms. Verlie Mae Pickens was a very strong volunteer in that program throughout San Francisco for several years.
When you say strong, what was that word again?
Strong volunteer. What I mean by that, Dr. Cannon, is that Ms. Verlie Mae Pickens served as a volunteer and was at every class session that we held at Senior University for a number of years.
Okay. So in addition to attending the class, did she also help with other things?
Yes, she attended every class session, Ms. Verlie Mae Pickens,
Okay.
and she also helped Senior University by volunteering with a Vietnamese woman named Miss Huy Truong, and Miss Verlie Mae Pickens and Miss Huy, both of them together, arrange, organize, and set up all the refreshments and foods and lunches for all the students at every class session for several years.
Did the students have to pay a fee to attend those classes?
No, it was a free class for seniors who were in those classes.
So the city of San Francisco paid for those courses to be
That's
offered?
correct. It was, Senior University was part of the program organized by a nonprofit organization called Senior Action Network. And we held classes in the African American communities, Chinese American community, Russian community, Latino and Hispanic community, Vietnamese American community, and so on and so forth.
Well, did you organize and supervise all of those centers?
Yes, I did.
So that was a total of about 10 different centers?
At least.
At
yes,
least.
at least.
Well, that sounds tremendous.
And we really appreciate it. I really appreciate all the hard work and diligent work that Ms. Verlie Mae Pickens gave to all the students and to myself during all these classes.
Oh, I would imagine. Mrs. Pickens, what were some of the things that you did that he is so proud of?
Well, just whatever they needed, I would help them to do whatever they asked me to do, and things that had to be done, I would do it, but I always had help.
What kinds of things did you do?
Well, there were various things that goes on in senior schools that had to be done, that I would do it.
What would be some of those things?
Put out all the things that they needed to go with the classes, and I had that all ready for them.
So you had various handouts that you would give to the students?
Yes.
I see. And then the curriculum, did you attend some of the classes as well?
Well, I'll just be there to assist.
I see. But I'm sure that you were able to benefit from the classes as they were being held.
Oh, it helped me a lot. When you're a senior, getting older, you learn things to help yourself and to help others too.
That's right. Well, that's tremendous. Yeah, because I was thinking about the fact that you were featured in local community newspapers for your outstanding work. That was truly phenomenal and amazing. And I'm just wondering about some of those things that were so amazing. Is there something you could share with us that they were so proud of or pleased with?
Well, like I'm saying, there's anything that they needed, they would always ask me because had been with them so long that I just knew what to do and give them certain things they needed.
And you were there, when you say so long, about how many years was that?
Oh, I think like 20 years I volunteered on that.
Amazing.
Yes.
20 years.
Oh, yes.
I thought for sure it would probably be only 2 to 5 years.
Oh, no.
20 years.
Yes.
And were there other volunteers who helped the way that
Yes,
you did?
there was another lady that always assists too.
So there were just the two of you that did all of this work.
Yes.
Well, that's phenomenal work.
Well, it had to be done, so I would help them.
Yes. Did you have difficulty, Mr. Onlay, getting people to come and help?
Well, the two volunteers, Dr. Cannon, who did all of the work with our senior university classes, were actually Miss Verlie Mae Pickens and the other volunteer, Miss Hui Truong, and Miss Verlie Mae was so diligent and so faithful and loyal with all of our senior university classes. And as Miss Verlie Mae Pickens just said, she did everything that needed to be done, from handing out the senior university handbooks, setting up and organizing the refreshments and lunches, passing out the graduation certificates, and so many other tasks that needed to be done. She was right there. We could not have done it without Miss Verlie Mae Pickens.
So was there ever a need to call in some additional help?
Not really. She and the other volunteer did it all, Dr. Cannon.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking that there is a tendency in institutions to work with people, but also to depend on certain people more than they depend on others. And that's why I was really curious about how you were able to get only 2 people to do this marvelous work. It just sounds like it probably was exhausting at some times. Ms. Pickens, did you ever have a need for more help to come in and help you?
No, I would just go early enough to know what I had to do, and I would just do it.
Early enough would be
But-
before school?
Like 7 o'clock.
7 in the morning?
Yeah, 7.
And classes would start
Start
around?
at 9.
9.
Yeah.
So you had 2 hours there?
Yeah,
My
in
goodness.
advance, yes.
My goodness. Now, I read someplace in the newspaper articles that Mr. Onlay provided indicating that you had served, I think it was cobbler. Part of your dessert was a cobbler.
Oh, I made various things for them, whatever they wanted, cookies even.
You made cookies?
Yeah,
Oh,
cookies, cobbler,
cobbler?
cakes and things, yes.
Oh, my goodness. And how about other things like chicken or ham, turkey?
Well, we had a certain place we'd always get that from.
Oh, you could get it already
Yeah,
prepared?
because sometimes we even had churches that didn't have facilities for us to do all that cooking and things like that.
I see. And you met in churches too?
Yes, we met, yes.
And where else did you meet? Have
Well,
your meetings?
anywhere they had senior places,
I see.
all places where the seniors meet in groups and things.
Well, that sounds very
Yeah, it
well
was
put
great.
together.
Yes.
So, Mr. Onlay, did you organize all of those locations?
Yes, and may I just share something
Please.
else to follow up on what Ms. Verlie Mae Pickens just said, and that
Okay.
is that when Ms. Verlie Mae Pickens just shared with us about one series of classes being held at a church, she's referring now to one of the classes, one of the series of classes we held in the African American community. Specifically, we held a series of classes in the Bayview in Hunters Point, and those classes were held at the police station in the Bayview, and the other classes that were held that Ms. Verlie Mae just referred to were held at Jones Memorial United Methodist Church
Really?
in the Western Addition, which also happens to be the church that Miss Verley May has been a member for a long, long time. And everybody at Jones Memorial United Methodist Church knows Miss Verley May.
Oh, yes. Well, then you probably knew my late husband, who was Reverend Booker T. Anderson.
Sure, I knew him, yes.
Yeah, he was the pastor there for.
Yes.
I think he actually went to that church as a kind of a rescue effort. I think someone was chasing him down the street and he ran into the church, and he wound up staying in that church for a number of years.
He did.
It was like
Yes, he did.
a safe place.
Safe place, yes. It was his home.
Yeah. And then I don't know if Willie Brown was the best man
Next
at our
one,
wedding.
yeah, that stayed there.
And he stayed there as well at
Yes,
the church.
he did.
So this church has been doing wonderful work for years.
It has, yes.
Yes. So what else did you do at Jones Memorial United Methodist Church? What kinds of things?
Oh, whenever they had different things, like I would help the ladies to serve the people that we would have Women's Day, and we had a special day for Mother's Day,
Mother's Day.
and just different things that I always helped in the kitchen.
Oh, yes. Yeah, there was always a need for that because sometimes people don't have that special desire to do that kind of thing.
Yes, but I loved it.
That's great.
I love to do that.
Yeah, because that can take a lot of time and preparation too.
Yes, it does.
So as you worked with youth, what age groups did you ever work with?
Never, youth has always had to be older people. I never did work with the younger people.
I see.
I love older people.
Well, then it sounds like we really need to have this awareness about what works well with different people,
Yes,
because sometimes I think people have not found the correct combination of persons to work with,
that's true.
but you seem to have discovered it.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So I understand that you served as a motivator of different members in your family when you were growing up.
Yes, I did.
Could you share some of that with us?
Oh, well, I mean, so many, but anyway, I know when my auntie in Chicago made 100 years, I even went and did through the church, but her son didn't know that I was doing it. He was just shocked and surprised. But I had all my family to go. If they couldn't have the money, I would pay their way to go.
To celebrate their birthday?
Celebrate my auntie's 100th birthday.
My goodness. So she lived to 100 as well?
Yes, she did.
My goodness. And did you have any others that lived to be 100? Any other relatives?
Well, we had several, but I don't remember the name of them.
Several.
That lived to be 104. Yes, quite a bit.
Do you have any thoughts about how this happened in your family, that several people were able to live such a long life?
No, I guess it was just in the line of that, to live a long life like that.
Yes,
And all of my people, mostly 90 years or something,
that's amazing.
brothers and sisters, all of them.
And your family was very health-oriented in terms of eating?
I think so. That's
right
what I
kinds
think,
of
yeah,
foods?
right. Because we always grew our own vegetable. I grew my own vegetable for many, many years. Worked out and then even made my own garden and everything. So I like fresh vegetable.
So what kind of vegetables did you have?
Oh, everything that it was, carrots, well, you name it, I'd had them.
All right, that's tremendous.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you also can fruit?
No, I didn't. I only put it in the freezer, but I never did can
Oh, wow.
anything.
So you had freezers, all of the,
Yes, I had downstairs, I had freezer for just vegetable that I grew
I see.
and cooked and put in the freezer.
Wow. And that way you were able to you didn't have to do it every day as a fresh.
Every day, right, yes.
That's wonderful. So what kinds of things would motivate you to work with the youth in the church, if at all? Did you ever have any connection with the youth?
No, I did not.
No.
Only one time. I used to love to in the nursery, go in there and take care of the babies for the mothers.
Oh, really?
And that was the only thing, the babies. I would work with them.
Oh, that sounds tremendous. That calls for a lot of patience, too, I
It
think.
does,
Yeah.
yes.
So do you have grandchildren?
I only have 2 grandchildren, one granddaughter and a grandson and a grandson.
Oh, that sounds great. So do you get to see them often?
Well, not that often. They live in Southern California, and I live in San Francisco.
Well, I was amazed when you told me you used to drive all the way from San Francisco to the LA area.
Oh, I did, sure. I would even drive back to my hometown in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
You did?
Where I was born and raised, yes,
You drove all the way.
all the way.
Did you go by yourself?
Go by myself,
Really?
yes.
My goodness. Now that sounds very unique because I think most people, when they make a long trip like that, they need another driver to go with them.
Well, if I got to a certain place, I would stop and rest a few hours, but I'd get up 4 o'clock in the morning and hit the road again.
Did you rest in the car or you would
Oh,
rest-
no.
No.
We had a mobile home later that we lived in the mobile home.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I used to drive that.
You used to
Yes.
drive the mobile home?
Oh, I drove the mobile home just as much as my husband,
Oh.
and then did all the cooking. He didn't like to cook.
You cooked in the mobile home?
I cooked in the yes,
You had a refrigerator?
yes.
Oh, my goodness.
And then I had always had a dog. My dog.
Your dog went with you?
The dog went with us. I'd go walk him out in the morning.
Well, that sounds amazing.
Yes, I loved it.
So what parts of the country did you stop?
I went to every state in the United States except Rhode Island.
Is that
I
right?
don't know why that was, but every state.
Did you decide not to go to Rhode Island because it's the
I
smallest
don't
place
know, it
in the
wasn't
U.S.?
nothing that important I wanted to go, but most places, every year I had a certain place to go. So the year I went to go see the Liberty Bell, and when I got there to see the Liberty Bell, I was so shocked to see that Liberty Bell. It was amazing.
What was shocking about it?
Well, it was just so small. I didn't thought it was going to be a big bell or something. It was just a little small bell, no more than about 8, looked like maybe 8 feet tall or something like that.
I
But
see. But it's usually, I guess they must have held it up at a high point when it was in its proper location.
well, I don't know, but I just always said I want to see the Liberty Bell.
Oh, did you know why you wanted to see it?
I don't know. You read that in your studies as you're growing up, and you just went,
The Liberty Bell.
yeah.
Wow.
So a few years ago, I always heard about the Panama Canal, how it was built, and what trouble they had building it and everything. And I think the United States on the end finished it, so I had to go see that. So a few years ago, I took a cruise to go see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the Panama Canal? What is it like?
Well, it's where the water going from the ocean to another section, they had to level it up on a level some kind of way.
I see.
And I would just love to see it, so I went to see it.
Uh-huh.
It was pulled by several, looked like engines that were just pulling it up. That was just amazing to see.
Now, were there any interesting things that happened with the community centers that you worked with that they needed to be helped or to have some changes made? I think you had shared something with me at one point about the changes that occurred over time.
Bayview Hunter Center, my center,
I believe it was.
well, I worked at both places. They used to have a place for seniors to go to, and I used to take them on trips like to shop. I took them to the movies,
Oh, you did?
yes.
Did you drive your own car?
No, we had a special, Delancey Street, people used to come and pick us up.
I
Used to take them even out to fish. I was scared of the fish, but yet still I took them, and they put their own things on and put it out in the water.
I see. So were people lucky in catching fish?
Not that lucky. We would just go just back of Candlestick Park back there.
Yes.
And it never was, and you had to have a certain length of fish to keep, but we never did catch such. They never had luck. No.
Well, maybe they only had tiny fish there.
Yeah, they did.
I see.
Yeah.
I
So,
see.
but the seniors enjoyed it.
Okay. What were the most exciting things that you experienced with the work that you did? Or some of the exciting things?
Well, I don't know. I just always loved to be, even when I was a young girl, I used to go to neighbors that I knew was old. I always loved old people, and I'd go to the store for them, saving them, time and things like that.
You would go when you were old?
No,
No, they
I
were
mean when I
old.
was just a child, a young child growing up, I always loved old people.
I see.
So
Did you ever find out why you loved old people?
I don't know. I just care about taking care of old people. I thought they needed me, and I always gave them my help.
That's great. Yeah, because I think sometimes when the need is there, people are motivated when they can see the need.
Yes,
Yeah, that does make a difference. And I bet the elderly were very pleased to have your help too.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep, that's why I enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, that's great. So when you worked with Mr. An Lee, what kinds of things were you pleased with?
Oh, well, I've worked with more than him too on that same kind of level.
Uh-huh,
That I helped everybody that came in and had the same position he had.
I see.
I always helped them.
Uh-huh. And I bet they were very pleased.
They
too.
was.
Yeah.
Whatever I did, they was very pleased.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think it's unique to find people who find the kind of thing that they like to do. And sometimes they're lucky when that happens.
That's true.
Yeah, because you can sometimes look for many years and not find something that really makes you feel gratified
Yes, that's
and
true.
satisfied.
True.
Yeah. So what would you recommend to people who are waiting for opportunities to come to them to do things that make a difference?
Well, I mean, if you like people and want to do things, I just think that most anything to help people, I think it's wonderful.
So to be motivated, though, if you can find something that really makes you feel pleased, the way to find that, I guess you just find it by serendipity or just by maybe you weren't looking for it, but just suddenly there it was.
That's right. You can point,
An opportunity.
yes,
So it sounds as though you were very unique in the fact that you were always available to pull things together, like when you said you got up at 7 in the morning,
yes,
and at 2 hours later, everybody else would be coming in
yes,
to get the resources for the day.
right.
Uh-huh.
That's true.
So is there anything you could say to people who might be watching the show that might motivate them to check out the senior citizen places?
Well, I just think seniors, when they get a certain age, because now I'm feeling it myself, that when you get a certain age, you just can't do everything you used to do.
Right.
So,
So therefore, they should do,
yeah, they should give them a hand. I think they should.
yeah, because I think there must be a way to motivate people to go with the thing that they really like to do.
Yes.
Yeah. And so if you have children that are growing up, would you tell them about your experiences?
Oh, yes, sure. I tell my grandchildren always that.
You
Yes.
have grandchildren?
Well, a granddaughter and a grandson, a great-grandson.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
And did you get a chance to keep them for a period of time?
Sometime they would come spend a while with me because they lived in Southern California, and I lived in L.A. Yes, when school was out in different periods, like Easter time, maybe they would come and spend a weekend with me or something on that order.
And did they ever get lonely or wanting to go home?
I don't think so, because I always had a car and I would take them out places
I see.
and do things with them that I thought that they would like to do.
So what kind of things did you do with them?
Oh,
Did you go to the movies?
take them to the movies, or take them to the park, take them swimming. I used to love to swim, so I used to take them swimming.
Did you have a swimming pool at your home?
No, I didn't. No, but not too far. I lived about 3 blocks from Martin Luther King swimming pool.
Oh, yeah, there was a
Yes,
swimming pool?
yes.
Oh, that's great.
So they loved it that.
And I think you said that you used to drive all the way to Los Angeles. by
Oh,
yourself.
yeah, sure. Oh,
That's amazing.
like I said, I drove to Louisiana by myself, my hometown, Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, by myself.
And did you make reservations to rest along the way?
Well, sometime I would, but I would be making such a good travel time that I would get there and I say, it's too early to stop. So I would just go 3 or 4 more hours
Without stopping?
because I like to get up early in the morning and get out of the city. When you don't know the city too well, you like to get out and get out
I
before the traffic get heavy.
Yeah, it can be disconcerting when you're in a place and having a hard time finding your way about.
Right, right,
Yes.
yes.
Well, it sounds like you have been able to chart a course in your life to make sure that you accomplished everything that you wanted to do.
Yes, I did. I really did.
What did you like to do the most?
I always loved to travel, always. When I was a child, every year summer would come, I had to go somewhere. My mother said she got to go, so I would go to my grandfather's home, which was about 90 miles from us. Or either I'd go to Texas area, I had people there in Texas. I'd go stay with them a couple of. I had 2 uncles that was there on my mother's side and 2 on my father's side. So I would go into Beaumont a lot of times.
Beaumont, Texas.
Then, yeah, Beaumont, Texas. And then I would go to Opelousas, Louisiana, where my father was from.
Opelousas.
Opelousas,
That's an interesting
Yes.
name, too.
yeah. Well, everybody knew about Lafayette, so it was about 20 miles from Lafayette.
Oh, Lafayette and
yeah.
Opelousas.
Yes,
My goodness.
yeah. So every summer I had to go somewhere.
Every summer.
Every summer my mother had to send me somewhere.
I see. Oh, she had to send you?
Well, yeah, I'd get on a bus, get on the Greyhound, because we didn't worry about the train. I'd just go get on the Greyhound bus. They put me on the Greyhound.
So were you a teenager when you were on the bus?
Yes, it was.
I see.
Yes.
So you didn't drive
Oh, no,
to
no,
those
no,
locations?
no.
Well, it does sound like you had a marvelous time with the children and traveling on your own.
Yes, I did, yes.
And did your siblings have children as well? Some of your brothers and sisters? Did
Well,
they
my-
have children?
My son, you know,
Yes.
my son had 1 son, and that's all. That's one great son. I only had 1 son,
One son.
1 granddaughter, 1 grandson, and 1 great-grandson.
Wow.
That's my family.
That's amazing. And do any of those children want to have many children as well? Or a lot of children?
Well, they're both kind of busy right now. My granddaughter, she's a lawyer, and she just telling me the other day she travels a lot for them, for the Bank of America. She works for Bank of America.
She's an attorney with the bank?
Yes,
Oh, that sounds exciting.
yes.
Well, it sounds like you have had such a beautiful experience with your family and then communities. Now, was there something that you helped to accomplish with some of the centers that were having difficulties in terms of having help to come in and solve problems?
No, not that I know of. Never.
Okay. Okay, well, as we begin to wrap up, it sounds like you have had a tremendous good experience with every opportunity.
I do. I tried. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you again for everything that you have done. And as we wrap up our show, I'd like to thank you for your generosity, because I think effectiveness is what I see every time I see you. You're just like a fashion plate.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you motivating everybody.
Thank you.
And thank you again. And Mr. Onlay, thank you for all the work you're doing as we wrap up.